from time to time, I like to do tool reviews, tools, supplies, hardware, whatever, stuff that I'm using. And generally it's stuff that I buy, which is the case here. And of course, that stuff is in, anything like that is in a folder for things like that. It's in, if I remember, if you guys remind me, I'll put the link in the description. Arch, nobody ever does that. What am I going to say? Right? I'll try. I'll try to remember. Poke me if you don't know. So in this case, like I bought all this stuff, and there's a back theme to my channel, which is what can we get? Can we buy that's from like Amazon or this Chinese, right? What can we get that is worth having for darn sakes, right? Like, because so much of this stuff is just crap. I'm so sick of it. So what can we get? And so I try to sort out some of that stuff in what I purchase. Now, when we're talking about some supplies here for, your hose fittings, hose ends, a particular gauge for your pressure washer. A lot of this is all geared around pressure washers, summertime, springtime, fall, whatever. When you're looking to do upgrade sort of your pressure washer, I just recently purchased a bunch of O-rings and things to fix the wands. And, there's always a leak here. The hoses go bad. In the past, I've bought nice hose, replacement hose, high temp hose, high pressure hose, pumps, you name it, right? And in this case, I'm going to focus on just more of the fittings, a garden Y hose connectors, nice stuff, all right? And of course, the gauge, right? Because I want to be able to know, not just test these pumps when I go through them, because I do pressure washers. And of course, I've got a whole bunch for myself. So not only do I want to know, like, to test the pump or to set the pumps up that have fixed regulators on them, blow-off valves, but what's my sweet spot, right? Like, a lot of stuff that I do, some of my pressure washers, except for my electric, can get very high pressure. And you can destroy stuff, damage. Since I'm working a lot with small equipment, small engines, you can damage a lot of stuff. But then what if you want to crank it up? What's a good pressure? So we're going to answer some of that here in this video. And just as a tip, for my pump, I like around 1,000 PSI. That's my cat pump. That's going to be on a separate video. But I want to get to this. So this is some stuff that I've collected, picked up. I bought it, some of it in April. I've been fooling around with it. That's when I recorded this. It is now almost August, right? Another couple of days. I've been using it and fooling around with this stuff all year, and I'm very happy with it. So yes, and if you look in the folder from the battery chargers to a number of other things, the answer to that question is yes, we can get some nice stuff online, from example, Amazon. I'm not doing currently anything with Temu, but I bought this. Now, there are other tools and things that higher end, lower end stuff that's like one-time use, like this. There's things that you can get that you don't care if it breaks. I also get stuff that's very high end, and I also like to get tools that are really old, like my 1910 or something lathe project that I've been working on, and other stuff, hand tools, things. If I go to a garage sale and I see old clamps and old rusty stuff, I'm in heaven. But sometimes we need some new stuff, and we need some things to get, do repairs and keep going. And when it comes to some of this sort of weird plumbing thing, you can go over to the box store, but what I've noticed is that the local hardware is Ace or whatever. I don't want to be saying names and just name dropping here, because I'm not for them per se, but you get this stuff and it's crap. And for those of us that know, that have been in contracting, for example, if you wanted to buy a faucet, a Kohler or somebody else, and you wanted to install it, if you go over to the box store, it's been known for a long time that's sub quality. You had to go to Blackman and Hoffman or your plumbing supply. So now we have to your door, same day service. What can we get? Let's take a look. All right, so I picked up some stuff. You're going to have to deal with the noise, fellas. Contractors, windows open. 1,540 pieces, 32 sizes. So, metric, okay? These are OD, size OD. There's also inside diameter sizes because metric. And you kind of get this too. I have a couple of like kits, so to speak, with standard sizing. I figured, you know what, I need more stuff. They just shove these in here. Good luck. You know what? Count them. See if they're accurate. And they come with these cheap little picks, which, okay. I mean, I looked at them. I'm like, they doesn't look too bad. See, some of these fell out. We'll deal with that later. You get a whole bunch of different sizes. You know, I have some picks, but I thought, you know what, this might be good. Now, and so we're going to be working for the most part with the pressure washers this year and pumps and other things. I'm going to get a bunch of different kits. But you know, a lot of our pressure washer pumps are metric. You get the Italian one. I don't know if the Cat is metric, so we'll have to find out. I think they're not. I think when I was looking, because they give you the sizes and everything of things, and I just didn't notice it. So let's just put this away. But again, I have some kits, and we're going to be buying some specific stuff for repairs. Speaking of Cat, one of the things that I was missing from my Cat, we're going to put this right on. We're going to do a little bit outside today. I was missing this. And the pump was mounted upside down. Now, this is supposed to be the breather, which is why it's red, and the other one is black. And, you know, these are just knockoffs. Let's hopefully it fits. It looks like it is the breather. So hopefully it fits. So that's for the Cat pump. And then this is a set. These are pressure washer replacement. Can I get this open? Or is it locked down? Yeah, it's locked down. So this is the pressure washer sort of replacement wand and fitting O-rings. The two common sizes. Most common sizes. A nice little kit of these. So we got these, and because that's constantly a problem, so I recommend that you pick up something like this. Pressure washer gauge. This is Rain Kovo pressure washer gauge. It's made in China. Well, like everything, right? But it seems to be pretty nice, very weighty, 14 ounces, so we're a little over a pound. So it should be, that's the oil-filled or glycerin-filled gauge. Just beautiful shape, and you see some of the O-rings and stuff that are in some of these. Supposedly some of these fit, but probably same thing with the metric kit. So we're going to be utilizing this, and this company sells up to 6,000 psi, or the megapascal range, 40 up to 40 megapascal. So we're just concerned about the PSI. So we're going to be able to, something, I wanted this for a while. So we're going to be able to kind of really dial in. And what's nice is, you know, doing this on a YouTube or just even just videos for myself or for yourself, take a quick little short, you can go write it down later on. So there's some sweet spots on every pressure washer, and particularly mine, the way I use mine. Now I'm going to be able to know what that sweet spot is. I'll know what the RPM is. I'll hear the sound, and I can look at the gauge. I can make adjustments and know for sure what kind of cleaning pressure I have. The volume is pretty high. The only concern I had is the way they do the pressure takeoff here. If you look down there, there is a restriction in here. So you may not see it, but you see it? Yeah, you can see it. See that restriction? So that restriction is smaller than the inside diameter by some small amount. That may restrict flow. And that company sells kits, and I'm going to be needing a lot more than this. So I figured, you know what? Their prices are pretty good. So these are the adapters, a very common adapter. A lot of these pressure washers that are lower pressure or not set up for a quick disconnect, they have this end here. And I have a pump that's like that, a general pump. A lot of the cheaper ones do. So I'm going to be fooling around with some fittings. So this does go in to a lot of the standard pumps. You want to replace it, we're going to be looking into that later. But you would have a hose end like that. And now, if you have a hose end, like, well, let me back up. So let's say like my general pump, this is the connect end to the pressure side. So you don't have a way of connecting like I have. All my hoses are like this, they're 3/8. So now when I get pumps in like that, like my cat pump, if I don't want to change out the fitting and put one of these in, quick disconnects, I can just shove one of those on, and you could do the same thing with your wand. So you can test out hoses, different hoses, use your own gear, or upgrade. Before you're done upgrading, you can kind of modify and get yourself up to something that's a little bit more conventional, a little safer. Especially as the pressures go up, you want to get away from that cheap hose. So I just picked this up, add to my fitting list, and use it when I need it. For testing purposes, is generally speaking, these came sort of as a bundle. And they had other bundles as well. And you can also see this fitting here is a female, I believe, on this end, male on that end. So I've done that before where if I've stolen one of these, I need it in a hurry to replace one on my wand. Oh, let's see if that's money calling. Okay, so before I open this up, it's beautiful. So I just pulled this off. So I have a couple of these laying around, a whole bunch of them. And they work pretty good. These are cheaper. This is not the correct handle. This handle came from something else because they fall off or they break. You go to pull the hose, or the ladies will pull the hose, it'll get caught and they're yanking on it, or it just seems to come off. They're also, when the hoses get hot, I have some very high-end Craftsman hose. I've been around forever, like lifetime hose. Now, by the way, it doesn't even open up all the way anymore. The pressure will build up in the sun and you can't open it, all right? But these are very useful, and we're going to get to the washers in a minute, but really super useful. But they break, and I decided, you know what, let me try some different things. A lot of the stuff that you get, in fact, I got a Y coming. See, this end broke off. This ring just let go. The plastic breaks off, and like this whole ring has just slipped on there. Here's another one, made a little bit better, but still, same thing. I stole one of the ends off of it. I need another T, and one's coming. I don't know why it's not here. Oh, it'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, 3 days later. And of course, no shut off here, but still useful brass. So this is like cheeseoid brass, super thin. I don't even know if it is brass. It's faux brass. We'll get to that. So I'm looking for the ends, and I wanted to try a few different things, and I was looking at this. I think I'm going to get another one, fellas. I don't know, like $15 or something. Look at the 3/4. Look at the beauty on that. Nice full flow. Really nice handle on it. It moves easy. Everything, you could see that it's all been tossed, and like glass bead. Everything is all smooth. It's stainless, laser etched. Like I said, the Chinese, they can make nice stuff. You got to pay for it. So this, as opposed to this is weighty. Now this is still useful. I have another use for it. And for some reason or other, they give you, I guess maybe it's in case, I don't know, you don't like that end. I'm guessing this feels cast and chintzy. I don't know, maybe they give you this as an option. I'm not sure. And then this is like a Teflon. Not sure what the Teflon. It feels like it, but it's a very soft, nice rubber. Probably just more like a pure silicone. So keep that in there. We're going to use that. Now, what I wanted to find out is, do I like this one? Or do I want one of these? I think I wanted one of these and just put these on the ends of the hoses. So then, if the hose is out someplace, you want to shut your sprinkler off, or you grab your hose and switch something, or it's leaking. I don't know, whatever. You want to put something different on. I like this. This goes at the end of the hose. This also can go at the end of the hose. It's not clocked the way I want it, but might reclock it. It feels nice, also stainless, same thing, 3/4, very nice ball, has a really good opening in it. They both have, so this is my big 5/8 hose. This one's actually a little bit bigger. So just nice to have around anyway. And because of the way I use my pumps, and I'll show you. Let me get the end for you. Hold on. So here's an example. I have quick disconnect on the supply side of my pumps. And what's nice is this just goes right on the hose end. And I set them all up with these screens. There's a screen on the other side too, but you need a screen right before the pump. And like this feels like it's going in. Is it going in, or is it a different thread size now? I don't know if this is a different thread size. This might be. Not supposed to be. Yeah, that goes in. So is this a different thread size? This might be a different thread size, or they screwed up the thread. Oh, look at that. Here I am kissing on it and rubbing on it, and it doesn't seem right. I think there's something happened here. Yeah, that one's got an issue right there. I'll run this on my belt sander real quick and just dress it with a file. No matter what you do, fellas, it seems like you get your hopes up and, you know, you just get so disappointed sometimes. I do. Hopefully that ends okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. And then I think I did. Now, hold on. Yeah, see there, it's okay there, but it's probably just a little too aggressive on the very end for that brass one. And there may even be some damage there, but yeah, just a little bit weird. We'll dress this end. You always get a little bit, disenchanted, This is really important. And remember, when you go to turn your hose on, I always do this, like I cup it and wash off the threads because there's always crap on it. Any of that crap, even if it gets past the screen because you're sloppy, or over here you get crap on that side, I kind of do the same thing. I'll screw that on, I'll turn the hose on, I'll cup it, wash it, you can shove it in a bucket. You get anything into your pump, you just killed your pump. And some of these pumps are many hundreds of dollars. Many hundreds. Hundreds, 700, 800, 1,000. You just keep going up. It depends upon what you got, what you're doing. And for something as stupid as not paying attention to cleanliness, or something come down that hose, something could have got in the hose, and it could have gotten in the hose, like if you put something like a nice screen on the end of your bib, and it runs 50 feet, 25 feet in the other direction, there could be something in that hose crawled up in there. So this is the one I just took off from last year, and it cut a really nice dent in it, but it worked good. And so I bought these last year, and I just keep a handful of these around. So I want to get some more because I used them up, right? Amazon, pick up some of these, one on your hose end, one on this end, however you want to set it up. It'll keep all the crap out, the insects, the bugs, the mud daubers, anything you could do to deal with the issues. This one came with a little bit of tape. It came with some more of these, and I think we're good. I think that pretty much does this. I got one more thing coming. I got a Y splitter like this, although it's set up like this in the ball valves. I want to see if it's any good. That'll help me out this year to sort of give me two different hoses to work with. I know, I got a mess on the table. I know. That's how it's going to be for now. All right, so the red one seems to work. I haven't tested it yet, but it had that little cone on the end. I snapped that off. It just comes right off. I don't get it. And then it fits. Okay. So I want to turn this around the other way. I can't. Right, the stop's in the wrong spot. So I can't have it going this way. I don't want it like that. I want it here, but we can't do that, right? Because the stops are all in the wrong spot. I can cut this. I want it this way, but I can't. Stop's not there. I can cut it. It doesn't have to be this long. Put some fresh heat shrink on it. That's for later. And although they QC, they're not QCing. I mean, the pitch is right. The overall construction is very good. But for effing's sake, if you can't get this on. I mean, this is the same as this. This is the same as everything else. Why is this tolerance better than this one? It can be a little sloppy because this is a hose end. And I went through the same problem. That's fine, but probably because the female side of this is sloppier. The female side of that seems to be okay. All right. Thank God, because I don't know how I would deal with that. This is only 1 inch and 40, about 44 thousandths. It's worn a little bit, but that's about what it should be. This was way bigger. It was like way over the ear. So I had to cut out 5, 10, 15, 20, about 25 thousandths of an inch had to come off the circumference of this. The diameter, but we got to do the circumference. All right, leave me alone. I got to go back to work. So that's what I'm working on. It's almost there. So the belt sander, but the belt sander, I want to get one of those little belt sanders, little hand belt sanders that are narrow, like 1 inch or 3/4 or a ½ inch, whatever, because this is in the way, right, on my belt sander. So I have to come over with a file, and I figured, first I started with a medium, then I was like, all right, we got to remove more material. Then I went to the coarser one, finished up with the medium, and then I'm finishing up with some cartridge roll, type, not cartridge roll, I mean, strip paper, just to make it nice. But it's almost there. It's like it's basically tight. And I can see it in here. It's basically tight. I'm going to hit it one more time because I want to make sure everything goes on nice and easy. I think if it had a double gasket, it would be fine. I'm going to make just another quick pass over it. I also treated threads in the front just a little bit. It's going good. We're almost done. It's a nice piece. I like it. But we shouldn't have to do this, fellas. Come on. You send it back and... Jeez. I need it now. All right, fellas, I just wanted to show you this last one. So again, simple solutions. The problem with all of these, I don't know where the end went for the hose bib, but they break there, and you got a lot of plastic involved. So it's great that you make this all nice and stout and strong, but the weak area is here, and that's where these were breaking. So this I throw out. This I'll probably just keep this one end here. And then of course you get, different hose bibs and things and replacements. Now all of this stuff is all, it's all very homeowner-esque grade. But this is simple and it's very useful. It's very stout here. This is brass. It's all formed in place. Now I think what was this? Maybe $15 or something. I think it's just an HQ MPC. Yeah, it's a HQ MPC garden hose splitter, new one piece made in China. So I would look for something like this. I also saw a nice one too that comes out and is made out of stainless. That's something that you could clamp and mount to. In my case, it's the brick, so you're not putting the pressure on the bib, on the valve. One of the things, if you're doing a job or you're out somewhere on the curb or working on something somewhere around the house, what's nice about this is you can run one line from your bib on the job or out to the street or somewhere on your house, and it is very nice to be able to have a takeoff line to your pressure washer, and then another freshwater line for a hose or whatever, for rinsing things off, for mixing chemicals, for mixing your detergents, whatever. Having a secondary line that you can then shut off, and now you're running your pressure washer, you're done with you don't disconnect everything. This is something I've run into. So I thought, well, later on, if this thing holds up for its initial job, later on, this is what I'm going to set up when I go to do big pressure washing scenarios, because I need another hose bib. I need another fresh water line, just to rinse myself off sometimes, just as a convenience. And if you're working a job, now some guys actually run multiple pressure washers. They may have a team. They have gang these things out. This is a nice big hole opening. It's, everything is all the larger size hose. that's something to consider. I just wanted to show you that. And I was looking for something cheap but decent. And you don't find a lot of this stuff you don't find at your local box stores or hardware stores. They tend to just carry this garbage. And that might be good for the day, for that job. Maybe you let it kick around in your truck or something. But it's going to fail on you. And it's not all that much cheaper for this than for something that's made up like this. All right, let's get back to work. I got stuff to do. Smooth. All right, that's all set. It's been at for a couple of days. Looks good. I put a little lube on this. I don't think it's leaking. Yeah, it's just lube. I want to just wipe it off. Let's take a look at the other end. So the hose has been out in the sun all day. It's pretty hot. Normally you'd have to use two hands, but watch while I hold the camera. Just with the flick of the thumb. And you would think that would, okay, what's the big deal? No, these crappy ones, the pressure in these hoses, sitting out in the sun, yeah, it's just too much for it. And especially for the ladies, they stopped using it. And the hose would leak. Just a nice end. I really like it. So now we can water the garden in peace without being affected by stupid crap.